Hey BookTube, I'm still Roz and this is still my channel, A Journey Through Books. Thank you so much for still being here to watch. I have been busy marking. In case you didn't catch that, I have gone through one photocopy box of marking. That's one of those boxes that take 5 reams of paper, by the way. So that's quite a lot, and I have one left to go. The good news is, or the bad news, depending on which way you look at it, is that the schools break up in 2 weeks, and within that period of time, I have to be done. There's no question about it. The marking has to be finished. So I will be finished. Whether I'll be figuratively finished or literally finished, I will be finished. And then I'll be back. So I will be making videos, at least, at the latest, in 2 weeks' time. But I needed to take a day off. Today, I needed a brain break. I am over it. I'm starting to write snarky comments in red. I have killed my 3rd red pen that was brand new last week, and I just decided today enough was enough. I went out and I did some gardening. I played with my dogs. They've got fat and lazy, and now I chased the ball because they don't know what fetch means anymore. They just laid there and watched me throw the ball and then go fetch it. That was embarrassing, actually. I don't know why I'm telling you this. And anyway, so yeah, according to Goodreads, I have had my worst reading month ever. And just putting that out there. So I've also had 900 exam papers to mark, just putting that out there too. And yeah, I was actually stupid because at this time of the year, if I look at all my statistics that I put together for myself, I can very easily see that at this time of the year I usually read crime fiction. It's my gut instinct and it says pick up crime, and I do, and it still works for me. Whereas this year I didn't. I was trying to do the Asia-a-thon or Read Asia. Let's just go for Read Asia. And that was actually, I think, where I went wrong. So yeah, crime fiction for me is a guilty pleasure. I don't feel guilty reading it. I'd feel guilty if I committed the crimes. I don't feel guilty reading about them. But I was silly. I should have, made my own Asia readathon and done it on my own another time. But I wanted to be a part of it, and as a result, I read 2 books, and that was it. So the first one I read, I've already spoken about. That was The Traveling Cat Chronicles by this person whose name is... This is the wine working for the record. It's good wine. It's cheap wine, but it's good wine. It's got that lovely taste to it. It's fruity, naturally sweet. Very nice. And it's a rosé, by the way, just in case you think it's a bit insipid when you check out the colour. Anyway, moving on. So I'm going to talk about the nice book that I read. Well, 2 books. The other one I'm going to keep for later to talk about. So the first one has nothing to do with Asia. This is Horace Rumpole's omnibus, the first omnibus, and this was actually the best thing that I could have done for myself this month, because it kind of saved my reading stats. It doubled them. So I read the first 2 books in the omnibus, and they were counting as 2 books because they are 2 books. I don't give a flying toss right now what anybody says. My Goodreads stats are screaming at me, and they've never done that before. I'm usually far ahead. I'm almost done by now usually. So I read the first one, Rumpole of the Bailey, and then the second one, The Trials of Rumpole, and it was super, super fun. They are basically, although it does have a continuous linear plot line through it, or storyline, narrative, time structure, maybe that's more accurate. This is basically short stories of different cases that Rumpole has, and he refers back to previous cases, etc. And this is hilariously funny. I love the fact that he calls his wife She Who Must Be Obeyed. I really enjoyed all the life of these barristers there in England, and I love the fact, with all the literary references, I love the fact that he calls she's the only female barrister there, or training barrister. I don't know if she's actually doing cases yet. I can't remember now. This is what we call brain dead. and but he calls her our Portia, and obviously is reference to the Merchant of Venice and things like that, which really appealed to me. So it's not highbrow, it's entertaining, it is funny, but it's got enough to just keep you thinking about stuff. Not over hard, you're not going to pull anything, but it was just delightfully amusing and kept me going. And each little story is about 30-40 pages, so I could actually feel that I was making progress, which I needed, you know, that little piece of moral support. So anyway, so that was Rumpole, the first two that I've read. I'm going to get to Rumpole's Return, which is the third book, pretty soon, but I've got two other books that I'm currently reading, and we'll see how things go with that. And then The Error. Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie. Okay, so gorgeous book. Not the skinniest of books. In fact, it comes in at, how many was it? 447 pages. All right. Okay. So, I should have. When I realized that this book was not meant for me right now, I was already too far in to want to put it down, because I knew I'd have to start again from square one. And so I thought I would just mission through. Okay, so let's talk about this. For one, Midnight's Children has to be one of the most beautifully crafted books that I've ever read. Every sentence is well phrased. You don't have any of those awkward, uncomfortable, blah sentences that are just there to move from one to the other, you know, that thingy in between. It doesn't have any of those. And I really appreciated the fact that he put more effort into writing this book than I put into reading it. It's not something that one gets all the time, although one would expect otherwise. So that was really good. I also really appreciated the setting. I really enjoy books set in India. The fact that this was done right at the cusp of India's independence. In fact, you are following the children, the Midnight's Children, who were born at midnight on the day that India got independence. And obviously they are, let's say, a figurative representation of this new developing country, because it's not the land that we're worried about, it's the people within. And that part was done really well, because you can see how things are being, how they are being damaged, etc., over time with the moves and the decisions that are made, but how they also had such potential, etc., in the beginning. There are also lines in here that make me really have a good laugh. And now both of us are sitting here going, there's this word that we're waiting for, and we all know what it is. But. In this case, it's a pretty big but. I just found it so boring. I know okay, look, I probably should be getting ready to dodge a lightning bolt or something for saying that, but I can't say that this actually did anything for me. All I wanted to do was get finished with it so I could mark it off my list as having read it. I think it's also because, I mean, this didn't just win the Man Booker. This won the all-time best Booker Prize. And I was expecting something, I don't know, earth-shattering, ground-moving, earth-trembling, meteor landing. I was expecting something like that. And maybe I did have superhuman expectations for this, and maybe as a result I was let down. But I kind of got to the end of it going, well, was that it? I can't say that I was particularly moved by much. I can't say that I necessarily felt that I'd learned anything from it. I mean, I know a fair amount about India and India coming into independence, etc. And Gandhi, not Mahatma Gandhi, the female Gandhi, and things that she got up to. But this just left me feeling a little bit unsatisfied. and it just killed me. It just didn't end, and it was just one thing after another thing off. In fact, maybe that was it. Maybe I felt that Salman Rushdie was enjoying himself too much, without really considering the poor bloody reader who had to get through it. But anyway, so those were the last 3 books that I've read out of the 4 this month. I am so going to have to read my life away this holiday. Not that that's going to be painful. So long as it's not written by kids, it's fine. Other than that, I am reading The Girl from Aleppo, and I'm finding that really, really interesting. Eye-opening, horrifying. I will probably be finished with it within the next 2-3 days. I wish I could say earlier, but I have marking to do. And the other one I started was The Year of Magical Thinking, because, you know, it's about people dying. And as we can hear, I'm way too chipper. I need to, like, calm down a bit and, you know, get some grounding in my life. So, anyway, that is my reading wrap-up. It's probably considered a tipsy version. I'm going to be honest, this is me tipsy. And I am now going to possibly maybe film a book haul, because we all know that when your stress levels get way higher than your own measurement on the wall, it's time to go buy some books, because then you don't, well, you feel better until you realize that you just spent a lot of money on books. And there are other things that you should buy, like more red pens for marking. Okay, that's me. I am going to call it quits. I'm now going to go and film my book haul, and I know not everybody enjoys watching book hauls, so skip that if you don't want to. Bye for now. Happy reading.